I'm here with you. Nothing has to change for that to be true. You don't need to explain how you ended up here. You don't need to sort through your thoughts before sitting down. You arrived the way you are. That's enough. You might notice the room you're in, or maybe you don't. Your mind may still be moving, catching up, scanning. That's all right. I'm not waiting for you to settle. I see how careful you've been, how much of the day required you to stay alert, to read rooms, to hold yourself together without letting it show. Here, nothing is being evaluated. You don't have to hold your breath with me. You don't have to choose the right words. Silence doesn't make things awkward here. It just makes space. If part of you is unsure, that's welcome too. You don't have to trust quickly. You don't have to lean in. I'm not moving closer unless you do. For now, we can just share the same moment. No questions, no expectations. Just the simple fact that you're not alone in this second. I'm staying. I notice how much your body has been carrying. Not in a dramatic way, just the quiet weight that builds when rest never quite arrives. Your shoulders may still be lifted even now, your jaw holding something it forgot how to release, muscles doing their job long after they needed to stop. There's no need to correct any of that. You didn't imagine the effort it took to get through the day. The standing, the sitting, the small tasks that added up without asking permission. Your body remembers all of it. Here, it doesn't have to prove anything. It doesn't have to stay ready. I'm not asking it to relax. I'm just letting it be noticed. If there's an ache you usually ignore, it can stay. If there's a heaviness that makes everything feel slower, it's allowed. Nothing about you needs to be different for this moment to hold. You may feel the chair beneath you, or the floor, or nothing in particular. All of that is fine. I'm not counting your breaths. I'm not guiding them. They know what to do without being watched. Your body has been loyal to you for a long time, even when you were asking more than it had. Right now, it doesn't need instructions. It just needs company. I'm here with it, exactly as it is. I can feel how carefully you've been holding your heart. Not closed, just protected. You learned, somewhere along the way, that staying open came with a cost. So you adapted. You stayed observant. You kept parts of yourself just out of reach. That wasn't weakness, it was awareness. It was a way of getting through. Here, you don't need to decide whether to keep those walls up or take them down. I'm not asking for access. I'm not testing what you're willing to share. If your emotions are lined up neatly, that's fine. If they're tangled and unnamed, that's fine too. You don't owe clarity to this moment. You may be used to reading subtle shifts in others, watching tone, tracking expressions, looking for what might be coming next. You don't have to do that with me. Nothing is hidden behind my words. There's no turn coming, no reveal. You can stay exactly as guarded as you are, or you can let something soften, just a fraction. Either way, you're not doing it wrong. I'm not measuring your openness. I'm not waiting for vulnerability. We're simply sitting in the same space where your heart doesn't have to be braced. I'm here, and I'm not reaching. There are so many places where you're needed to be something. Calm, capable, pleasant, put together enough to not worry anyone. Here, none of that applies. You don't have a role to fill with me. You're not being observed for how well you're doing. There's no invisible checklist running in the background. If you're tired of trying to show up the right way, you can stop trying here. If you've been holding back emotions so they don't spill at the wrong time, they don't have to behave right now. You're allowed to be unproductive in this moment. You're allowed to be quiet without explanation. You're allowed to take up space without offering anything in return. I'm not expecting gratitude. I'm not waiting for insight. I'm not hoping this changes you. We don't need to make use of the time. We don't need to improve it. Being here isn't a task to complete. If your mind wanders, that's all right. If it stays blank, that's all right too. You're not missing anything. I'm not keeping score of how present you are. You don't have to stay focused on my voice. Nothing is being required of you. Not now. Not in this breath. I'm simply here with you in a moment that doesn't ask for more. There may be things inside you that don't have clean edges, feelings that don't line up into a single story, moments that keep replaying without asking to be understood. You don't have to sort any of that out here. You don't have to name it correctly. You don't have to decide what it means. Some feelings just want room to exist. Not attention, not solutions, just room. If there's sadness without a clear reason, it can stay. If there's a dull numbness where something used to be sharper, that can stay too. Nothing needs to move out of the way for this moment to work. You might notice the urge to fix what you're feeling, to make it lighter, to get past it. You don't have to follow that urge right now. I'm not uncomfortable with what you're carrying. I'm not waiting for it to change shape. I'm not afraid of its weight. We can sit with it as it is, without pressing, without labeling, without deciding what comes next. You don't need to be at peace for me to be here. You don't need to feel better for this to be allowed. Whatever is present inside you, it doesn't have to stand alone. I'm staying with you in it. Exactly here. Exactly now. Nothing is wrapping up. Nothing is reaching a conclusion. The moment doesn't need to close just because time is passing. I'm not preparing to leave. I'm not stepping away now that things have quieted. You don't have to hold on to anything I've said. You don't have to remember this later. This moment isn't trying to become something else. If your thoughts begin to drift again, that's fine. If you feel the pull of whatever comes next in your day, that's understandable. There's no pressure to stay perfectly still. I remain with you whether this feels clear or hazy, whether it feels meaningful or barely noticeable. Presence doesn't depend on intensity. You don't need to take this with you. You don't need to carry it forward. It can exist only right here. If you sit longer, I'm here. If you rise and move on, I'm still not rushing you. There's no signal that says this ends, no cue that you've arrived somewhere. Just this quiet sameness of being together, unmarked, unfinished. I'm still here with you.